Okay, welcome you all to Sunset Beach, North Carolina. And I'm not using any script, so I rarely use scripts, so I try to imagine you're just here as a student sitting next to me. And can you imagine going to a piano teacher and he had a script written out and in front of him and he was reading from it? That wouldn't be too cool, right? So I will do this in segments just so I don't have to repeat myself if I make a mistake. And some people have asked me, well, don't do that. Make the mistake and we'd love to hear that. Well, no. Continuing. Okay, now this is the famous song called Green Dolphin Street. And I picked this out of random. It's just to make 4 different points. First one being comping before the beat and comping after the beat, and also voicings, 4th voicings, and improvisation lines. So we'll start with the comping first. Now, comping before the beat just means that if it's 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm going to comp before that. In other words, I'm going to comp on the end before the 1. So we'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, like that. Okay, so I'm going to show you the Yama Jamal concept, which is before the beat, before the 1, before the 3. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4. Now, what does that mean? It just gives him a certain kind of groove because this is really a vamp. It's vamp type of comping, which is not random. So a random comp would be something that would be, say, maybe on the beat of upper 4, and then again on the upper 1, and then again on the upper 3, and then maybe on the upper 4, and then again on the upper 2. It would be random. It would be like 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3. And there wouldn't be a pattern that is repetitious through the count of 4. So that's the essential ingredient here of this particular groove, this Yama Jamal groove. And he has this on the up of 4, so it's ahead of the beat. So that's the first category here, is the head of the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, like that. So we'll show you that. Explaining a vamp. Now, vamp is a repeating musical figure. It could be rhythmic, it could be melodic, whatever. Usually it's rhythmic, and I talked about that in my video on Killer Joe. So here's what it sounds like playing a vamp on Killer Joe. So the definitive Yama Jamal groove is based on the ahead of the beat, in other words, ahead of 1, or the end of 4, anticipating the 1. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 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 3, 4, and 1. Now that pattern of comping creates a groove. Why? Because it's a vamp. It's not random. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, So that's ahead of the beat. Now I'm going to show you the same concept, but behind the beat, on the end of 1. Now you can get a similar groove playing a vamp on the end of 1 and the and of 3. So like it'd be like 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3. See, because it's a vamp, it has a groove to it. This is part 2. Now I'm going to talk about fourth voicings. Now, fourth voicings just mean that I'm going to play a root, a fourth, and a fourth above that. So there's a voicing. Now, for the first voicing, I'm going to go up here to there, up to the third. So I'm going to put it's a C major chord, so I'm going to put the third there, the 6, and the 9. So with the fourth voicing, you have this is a fourth, and this is a major fourth. Major fourth. That's the first voicing, major fourth. Now you may say, well, that's a major fourth too, but no. Now in this structure here, on the C minor chord, this is C major 6/9. Put the root in there, right? I put the root in there on the C. Now this becomes, if that's a C chord, it becomes the fourth, the flat 7, and the minor third, you see? If I put the E flat chord in there, well, now it becomes the 9, the 5, and the root, you see? So it depends on what the root is. So I'm using a root throughout this. So the first chord is a C 6/9. That's a C minor 7 sus 4. There's the sus 4. Then I go down the scale. There's a D 6/9 against a C bass, and there's a D flat 6/9 against a C bass. See, that's what it really is. So, and then I go, then I do spread voicings. I'm not going to talk about, what I'm going to talk about is improvisation and creating lines that connect. And I learned a lot about this from listening to Horace Silver or Bill Evans or any of the great pianists that are geniuses that are able to create a fabulous sounding solo based on the fact that they're creating a conversation which has logic to it. In other words, one idea leads to the next. And so what I try to do is I try to do that. I try to emulate that idea of one phrase leading to the next in a composition or a conversation in which you create ideas that one will lead to the next and create another idea. Maybe like that. So a lot of times I repeat an idea, like, you know, just to emphasize it, like, and then something new. And then something that connects with that line. You can change the phrase so it isn't perfectly connected with the last one, but it has a connection. This tune is easy to do because it has lines that are connected, like major here to minor. Then it has these chromatic lines, so you can create a chromatic melody. Then this is more difficult, but you have to get the idea. So what I try to do is I try to create lines that connect and then lines that create a new idea, but get each one to connect to the previous one and then create a new idea that leads you into another dimension, you know, like see, there's a line that connects. Now I learned this by listening to Horace Silver. He always creates lines that are perfectly, he's improvising like a composer, and also Bill Evans does that a lot. He if you listen to his improvisations, they sound like compositions. They, you know, like they may be something like this. So they'll create a line that connects and then something new. And the new thing will connect to the next thing. And it goes on. And it's a conversation. It sounds beautiful. It's perfect because it makes a conversation. You're anticipating what will come next, and that is rewarding. Signing off from the Jazz Ranch here in North Carolina. This is the Jazz Ranch South. It's almost sunset time. So glad you joined me. And until next time, I'll say in the words of my great friend Hermie Dressel, God rest his merry soul, swing loose. And we'll see you next time around. Bye-bye. Oh, you're lucky we showed up here just at the right time for sunset. And this is sunset at Sunset Beach, North Carolina. We love it here.